Hello. It's day 15 on the hike to Santiago, Camino de Santiago. And it's already gotten pretty, yeah. So it's just the usual thing that you do. You get up in the morning, you pack your bag, and you walk for 6, 7, 8 hours, and then you stay at the hostel again, and you get some food, and you're tired, and you go to bed. So that's how my last 15 days have looked like, or 14, today is the 15th. And it sounds boring, but I still like it, to be honest. Yeah, it's really interesting. You don't have to care about anything except where do you sleep, what do you eat, and maybe where do you wash your clothes. And it really brings you down to your core, and you think about so many things, and you just basically, I would say maybe 70% of the time that I'm walking, I'm just meditating, because it's basically all you can do. And sometimes I try not to think about anything. Sometimes I'm thinking about weird stuff, and sometimes I'm regretting my past, sometimes I'm worrying about my future. But I would say most of the time I'm in contemplation, and I'm enjoying it partly, I would say. Also, there are also some just some kilometers that are just horrible. I think 2 days ago, so we just went past a really big industrial complex, which was pretty horrible, and the road was so busy. And so I'm not sure if I was meditating there. I was just kind of hoping for this to stop. But after that, the road was very nice, and was small paths around green landscape, which was really nice. Yeah. But people keep asking me, why are you doing it when it's so much suffering? Because you have to carry the bag all the time. There is no comfort in the hostels. You share a room with up to 20 people, and and everything hurts basically, because you're not used to carrying so much weight on your back all the time. And your feet just hurt from walking so much, because they are not used to do that either. So but I think suffering is necessary in life, and we don't suffer, or we try to avoid suffering every day. We just look for comfort. We want to have air condition. We want to have exactly 22 degrees Celsius, or if it's winter or summer. And we just avoid suffering wherever possible. And just now, putting yourself deliberately into a place of suffering is quite an interesting experience, I would say. And it's getting deeper and deeper every day. And a few videos ago, I talked about anger, but more and more sadness is coming up, I would say. And sometimes I also notice fear, and I feel like there is not so much anger anymore, which is interesting. So I feel like I can go to deeper parts of myself without anger really stopping me from going there, or fear stopping me, or I can just relax more and more into my into the essence of my being. And I'm interested to see where it's going. So there's one thing that's really on my mind a lot, and it's the relationship that I have with someone that was really important to me, and I would say is still important to me. Otherwise, I wouldn't think so much about it. But I projected so much into this relationship, and I know that I put this person on a pedestal, and yeah, what you do is basically you take away their humanness because you think they are like, yeah, like God, and they're just perfect. But more and more I realized that it's just not the case, and that I was just trying to fill a void within myself with this person. And it's painful to realize that, but I would say it's necessary for healing. And this pain comes up a lot during the hikes, every day basically. And for some reason I came up with the idea to talk to ChatGPT about this stuff, and it was pretty interesting what he answered me. So he was also telling me that I'm just projecting stuff that's maybe hidden potential within myself that I'm projecting on this other person. And yeah, still maybe not strong enough to live this full potential myself. So I just see the potential in other people who live it, and yeah, I kind of want to be like them. And if I'm with them, it feels like I have a little bit of that. And maybe these people also give me the permission to do these things because I'm afraid to give it to myself, to myself. And when you see others do what you really want to do, but you're afraid to do it, and yeah, it kind of gives you the permission. Okay, if they can do it, you can do it too. So there are a lot of aspects that I'm thinking about, and yeah, I was just talking to ChatGPT about it, and also telling him that I'm on the hike, and that makes everything more intense. And he gave me actually an answer that made me cry. I can't really repeat it anymore, but I was just having a little break today. It was a little, really little train station. I was just sitting there because there was a seat to sit and there was nothing else to sit, so I just choose that place. And yeah, while I was having a little bit of lunch, I just texted to ChatGPT, which is kind of sad to be honest. But I don't know. I had the interest to do it for some reason, and I was pretty impressed by the answers. I wouldn't call ChatGPT my therapist, but it's always interesting to get a new perspective on things. And I do talk to a lot of people here along the hike. I would say there are two with which I have a really close relationship, and I have talked about pretty deep stuff to them, and they have talked stuff about their stuff to me. So and I also talked to them about the person I'm talking about now. But yeah, it's always good to have another opinion too. And I would say ChatGPT, by now he has read all the textbooks about philosophy and psychology, and yeah, he probably knows more than any therapist you could go to, at least from the theoretical standpoint. Yeah, but maybe back to the suffering. A girl here on the hike told me that after a few days she noticed there are some bits and pieces of every day that maybe are not so beautiful, or there are big cities that she doesn't like hiking through, so she's just taking the bus. And she told me, well, that's also what she's doing in life. Sometimes she's taking shortcuts, she doesn't do her homework, and she has get through university anyway. So she was kind of proud to do that, and I was thinking about that for quite a few days, and I was wondering, what does it really mean when you avoid the hard things in life, if you avoid the suffering? And I think the only way you can really do is if you have millions and billions of money that you can buy anything you want. Then at least you can avoid the suffering that would be caused by not having enough food, not having a warm place to stay, not having or being jealous of other people who might be able to live in more beautiful places, or that can make holidays at the most expensive hotels, or that can eat the most expensive food every day. But if I would just imagine me being a person with $1 billion, and I could eat anything I want every day. I would eat the best food and the most expensive food, and drink the most expensive wines, and live at the most beautiful places, and do the coolest things that you can do. I don't know what rich people do. Maybe buy a boat and sail across the ocean and just chill. But I was thinking, if you do that every day, it gets pretty boring, and you're looking for new highs and new things to excite you. And maybe then you buy a bigger boat, or you buy or you get instead of one girlfriend, you have 3 girlfriends, and instead of having one Porsche in your garage, you buy another Ferrari and another Lamborghini, and I don't know what. But after a little while, you probably notice, okay, that's not it, and maybe you need private jet, and you're buying more and more stuff, but you're not really you're not getting more happy, I would say, because you get just used to the comfort you have, and to all the things you have. And maybe when you have everything that you can buy, you start maybe experimenting with drugs, because that's the only way you can get a high then. Or I don't know what these rich people do, but a lot of them, if they don't have a purpose in life, they end up as a mess, and I'm not so jealous about them. As long as you still have an aim, and if it's only to make a good living so that you can afford the Porsche, you don't get I would say you don't get on a slippery slope towards drugs and self-destruction. I think there's a quote saying something like, an idle mind is devil's playground, or something like that. So I think suffering is just something that really brings balance into your life. So if you have to struggle to get the Porsche, that you can really enjoy it afterwards, and you know how hard it was to get there, and every time you drive it, you feel like you have accomplished something. But if you have just so much money that you can buy everything, you don't really appreciate the things that would mean the highest achievement for someone who is just working for his own money. So I think it's with everything. You need both sides. There's darkness and there's light. And if you're only trying to live in the bright side of life, it's just not gonna work. So maybe that's one of the reasons why I'm pushing myself here every day, and I'm going through this suffering, because I know when I come back home and I will have my own bed, and I can sleep there without packing my bag 2 times a day or one times unpack it and one times pack it. And yeah, just drive to the supermarket and buy as much food as I want. And now I can only buy as much as I can carry for today. So yeah, I think I'm suffering today so that I can really appreciate life more in the future again. I'm not saying that I didn't appreciate it before, but I think it's good to have these contrasts every now and then. And I'm not saying I'm doing this every year or I don't know, but it's definitely an interesting experience. And I start to enjoy it actually. So my feet don't hurt as much anymore as they used to do in the first 10 days or so. My back also gets used to the backpack, and sometimes I really think I have forgotten something because it feels so light. Well, it doesn't really feel light, but lighter than before. And yeah, I just can walk 25 kilometers without really a lot of pain. So this is much better than before. So yeah, but there's still about a month to go, maybe 4 weeks or so, maybe a little bit less. But I'm also already a little bit worried of the day when I arrived in Santiago de Compostela, because it will just mean the end of the journey from one moment to another. And I'm definitely looking forward to it, don't get me wrong, but I'm also a little bit afraid of what comes afterwards, because there are some decisions to make. And yeah, and I start to really enjoy this freedom that you have. You can walk as far as you want every day, and there's nothing else you have to really worry about. Yeah. All right. I think that's all I have to share today. I wish you all a wonderful day. Bye.